Welcome and thank you for joining me. This is Dr. Jason W. Morrison, theologist, New South Wales, Australia. We're going to continue with the reason behind religious criminal abuse. And I say the reason in the sense of how religious devotion activities, the way in which we believe, can cause us to bend towards evil and become evil. Want to remind you that if you're a victim of religious abuse, please call your local police. That's the best place to start, and if it's not applicable to them, they will put you in the right direction. But if you're a victim of crime relative to religious organizations, then you can
Fox 4
contact the police. Let's go to this story and see what comes out of this.
starts.
This is an old story.
Hello and good evening. I'm Steve Eager. First on Fox 4 News at 5:30 tonight. 6 people have filed a civil lawsuit saying when they were children, they were sexually abused by church elders within local Jehovah's Witness Kingdom halls. Attorneys for the plaintiffs, who are now adults, say this involves a major cover-up that spans decades. Fox 4's Dion Anglin is in our Dallas newsroom with more, including some reaction from one elder who is named in this lawsuit. Dion.
Yeah, that's right. The lawsuit was filed Thursday. It speaks of years' worth of abuse to 5 girls and 1 boy. Their Dallas attorney thinks there are more abuse cases.
The lawsuit alleges 6 children were fondled, groped, molested, and exposed to sexual acts during the 1990s while spending time with Jehovah's Witness elders in North Texas. This Kingdom Hall in Dallas is named as a defendant in the suit. Also this hall in Plano and another in Greenville.
What we see repeatedly is that when one person has the courage to speak out and word of that spreads within the community, then others have the courage too.
The suit claims a church elder at the time, Reginald Tyrone Jackson, committed many of the crimes. A public records search reveals Jackson has served time in prison within the last 10 years for indecency with a child, sexual contact, and is a registered sex offender. The 6 unidentified plaintiffs are now young adults. Each says the abuse spanned years during their childhoods when they were 13 or younger. We visited the address in the lawsuit listed as the place where Jackson lived and could be served.
That is this address, right?
Yes.
And you're Reginald Tyrone Jackson?
Uh-huh.
But you don't think this is not you?
No, that must be a mistake. That must be for something else.
The man who answered confirmed he's Jackson, but seemed to know nothing about the claims against him, including the complaint which says Jackson groomed member children and then, while acting in a position of authority and trust, sexually abused them. It also says the governing body did not report this conduct to the authorities and did not otherwise warn members of the general public. The Turley law firm in Dallas filed the civil suit. It seeks at least $1 million for each plaintiff.
You know, hopefully, these plaintiffs, the people that we represent, these young adults, coming forward and speaking out will encourage others to do so and seek the help that they need.
Now, the governing body of the Jehovah's Witness faith is the Watchtower Bible and Tract Society of New York, Incorporated. We have reached out to that entity for reaction, but so far it has not responded. Steve?
Okay, Dion, years ago when this allegedly was going on, was there any outcry to the police? Was there any criminal investigation on this accusation?
Well, according to the lawsuit and the filing attorney, no. They explained there was an outcry made, but because this particular faith requires there must be at least 2 people to attest to an incident, alleged incident of abuse before it's even looked into. There was never an internal investigation, nothing ever reported to police, and that's something the attorneys say they're hopeful that this lawsuit can change. Steve?
Okay, Dion Anglin in our Dallas newsroom, thank you.
So what I want to do now is move across to, just let me pull this down, pull this across back to Some facts on grooming, for instance. What is grooming? Well, grooming is when a person tries to build a trusting relationship with a child. Let me note that again. It's a trusting relationship with a child. I just want to put myself there because I want people to be encouraged to contact the police. Grooming is when a person tries to build a trusting relationship with a child. Let me say that again. We've got to get this right. I want to make this better. Hang on. Just bear with me for a minute, viewers. I want to really present this well. We'll put that there. We're doing this on the run. You can see that. Grooming is when a person tries to build a trusting relationship with a child. Okay? Grooming is when, and we've got to get this right, grooming is when a person tries to build a trusting relationship with a child. Can you say that with me? Because we want to get this right. Grooming is when a person tries to build a trusting relationship with a child. Okay, that's what grooming is. We seem to think that it's some kind of form of kindness or goodness, but it's not. Grooming is when a person tries to build a trusting relationship with a child. And you have to keep this in mind because it's the trust that's the blind side. It's the trust that causes the blind side. Or a child's family, they can try and build a trusting relationship with the child's family so that they can sexually abuse the child. These people have strategies that they use to get what they want, and it's the child. Grooming involves the person building connection and trust with a child and family over days, weeks, months, and even years. For example, the person might befriend a family and seem to have an amazing connection with the child. The person might gradually spend more and more time with the child. This lays the groundwork for sexual abuse at a later date. And who might be involved in the grooming? Well, anyone can be a groomer. And this is the funny thing, isn't it? It can be anyone. Man or woman, friend, stranger, or professional. Okay? A groomer could be a relative, family friend, someone from a family's place of worship. These are the ones that we're interested in, not that are any less important. Or a groomer could be a sporting coach, teacher, or child or care worker. Again, all areas in which children can be violated. How and where does grooming happen? How and where does grooming happen? And let me remind you, if you're watching this right now and you have been abused, sexually abused in any way whatsoever, please find the courage to contact your police, please. Grooming can happen face to face. It can happen online. If grooming is happening face to face, the person might find ways to get to know a child and the child's family. And listen, it doesn't just come directly at the child. It can come through the child's family. This is what I call the Trojan horse method. Once they're inside the family, they can begin to go about their means and offer to take children out on outings. Be very careful who you let look after your children. The person might buy the child or family treats or gifts. or the person might give the family and the child compliments and make them feel special. If grooming is happening online, the person might pretend to be a child of the same age or a celebrity. The person might use text, instant messaging, online chat, and so on to build a relationship with the child. So there's many different ways in which these people spin their web. Now, I'm going to wrap this up shortly, this part of the talk, but I just want to share on some signs of grooming in children aged 0 to 11. Many of the signs of grooming can look like normal adult-child relationships. This is the warning. It can all look normal on the surface, but underneath it's not. And usually we get a sense that something isn't just quite right. And as soon as you get that sense, my suggestion is that you take immediate precautions to chop down whatever it is you're concerned about. Chop it down. And if you're really concerned, just ring the police. We had a heroin addict live next door to us on the left side. He was nothing but a menace, a pest, a very troubled man. We learnt that as soon as he started, the best thing to do was to ring the police. He's gone now because the Lord dealt with whatever it was that was wrong with him. So many of the signs of grooming can look like normal adult-child relationships, which is why grooming is difficult to spot. But here are some signs that might indicate that your child or the child you're caring for is being groomed. Your child, number 1, has unexplained gifts like new toys and clothes. Number 2, doesn't want to talk about where the gifts come from. Number 3, is getting lots of messages from someone they only know online. Number 4, talks a lot about a particular adult or older child who wants to spend a lot of time with them. Number 5, wants to go alone when they meet a particular adult or older person. Number 6, doesn't want to talk about what they've been doing. Number 7, stops telling you about their day or asking for your advice. Number 8, spends more time alone in their room. Now these are just signs. Okay, these are just signs that might make your attention stand up. Signs of grooming in teenagers. These signs might indicate that your teenage child or the teenage child you're caring for is being groomed. And I'm going to put a link to where I've got this information from at the end of this video. Your child is, number 1, in a relationship with a much older boyfriend or girlfriend. Number 2, has unexplained gifts like clothes, jewelry, or electronics. Number 3, doesn't want to talk about where the gifts come from. Number 4, doesn't want to talk about what they've been doing or lies about it. Number 5 is skipping school or sporting activities. Number 6 is spending less time with friends or changes friendship groups suddenly. These are signs. Number 7 is getting lots of messages from someone they only know online. That might be worth checking out. Number 8, doesn't want other people around when they're with a particular girlfriend or boyfriend. And number 9, doesn't talk with you about thoughts or feelings anymore. Now I want to give you some signs of signs someone is grooming parents. This is signs someone is trying to get to a child by grooming the parents. Listen very carefully. Grooming often involves gaining the trust of a child's family or carers. These signs might indicate that someone is grooming you or your family with the aim of sexually abusing your child or the child you're caring for. The person, number 1, offers to take your child to sports or other activities, or offers to babysit or take your child camping. Number 2, offers to mentor your child individually, coach your child, and so on. Number 3, buys gifts for your family. Number 4, offers to do things for your family like repairs or gardening. Number 5, shows an interest in your child's activities, well-being, school grades, or other areas of your child's life. Number 6, compliments your family and parenting. Number 7, plays innocently with your child and touches your child in a non-sexual way while you're around. This gets you and your child used to the idea of physical contact. And number 8, tries to start a flirtatious or romantic relationship with you. A lot of the times, these people are step-parents. We've got the phone. Excuse me for a minute. I have to take this call. Busy times, isn't it? Grooming isn't always obvious, and this is what we need to be aware of. Groomers work hard to gain trust. They work very hard to gain trust and respect from children and families. So it's important to trust your instincts. If something doesn't feel right, trust your instincts. It's also important to, number 1, watch out for signs that you or your child is being groomed, which we've already revealed what some of those signs might be. Number 2, stop the person from being alone with your child immediately. Just stop it. Number 3, avoid letting the person do favors for your family. Give them no way of intrusion. Number 4, ask other families who know the person what their relationship with the person is like, and you might just be surprised. Number 5, find out how your child feels about the person by asking questions like, do you like the way cousin or uncle or auntie or whatever it is acts around you? Or, Mr. or Mrs. So-and-so likes a lot of your Instagram posts. Does he follow you on any other social media? You can find out who's stalking. Encourage your child to talk by asking questions like, is anything worrying you? Or, are you okay? And I'll put the link to this raisingthechildren.net.au. In fact, as a matter of fact, we might bring it up on the computer. Let's do it. Raising the children. This is the beauty of the internet, isn't it? Raising children .net.au. Let's have a look. Site can't be reached. That's okay. I've made a mistake. Let's have a look. Bear with me, viewers. There it is. And there it is there. So let me pull this back up. There we go. raisingchildren.net.au. I'll get out of the way. And this is a tremendous Australian Government Department of Social Services site. And it's got all the different things that you need to find out. If you want to do a search, you can go abuse. There's helpline services, look, on abuse. There's all the help services that you'll need. There's other things you can look up. This raisingchildren.net.au, it's an Australian thing. I'm sure there's one similar to this in other nations and countries. But these are the kind of things that can help you. Okay. This is Dr. Jason W. Morrison, theologist, New South Wales, Australia. Bye for now.